Good afternoon. I was born on September in 1952, and 5 years later, my father, mother, and my two sisters and me, we went to see my step-grandfather, Victor Francis Buono's Bell Bonds business building. He had bought a house near South Mission Beach in 1949, and all of us had a wonderful time for playing in the sand and jumping in the bay. It was 1957, and Victor Charles Buono was 19 years old, and he brought his short scene films he had made with his friends and for us. And everything seemed that nothing could ever take our joy away when we came to the Buono family house. It must have been interesting in the Buono house when entering into 1949. There were two substantial decisions Victor Francis had to make that year, and it would eventually change his entire life. He turned in his badge to the San Diego Vice Squad after 8 years of service, and he then opened his own business at 504 West Market Street in downtown San Diego City, and he named it Insurance and Bell Bonds. The other important decision was probably easier, because they would be moving into a beach house at 3266 Bayside Walk near beautiful South Mission Beach at the end of 1949. My father, Sonny, was 21 years old now, and he had met and was courting my 17 years old mother, Hilda Golden, during 1949. She had a prior marriage that didn't last long before they met, and within that marriage she had her first daughter, Theresa Ann, born on July 11th, 1948. My mother's father, Lynn Allen Golden, was 44 years old. Her mother, Laura Kristin Golden, was 41 years old. Her half-sister, Shirley Golden, was 33 years old. Her half-brother, Lynn Allen Golden, was 25 years old. Her sister, Agnes Golden, was 13 years old. And her brother, John David Golden, was 8 years old. When I was growing up with the Buono family and Golden family, my young eyes and ears acutely assessed the differences between both of them. My mother's family was subdued, polite, and never spoke loudly in family arguments. The Golden family always were meticulously organized and always united together in Thanksgiving dinners, Christmas and Easter gatherings, and whenever we had picnics at Balboa Park. There never were any visual upheavals within the Golden family when I was a young man growing up. When visiting the Buono family, it was always a toss-up of unpredictable dialogues and emotions. The tones and pitches in conversations were always a delight to my ears and eyes when surrounded by family members speaking bluntly from their passionate hearts. As a young child, I clearly saw their differences, and I also loved both families. The Goldens were calm and polite, whereas the Buonos were energetic and passionate, and it gave me a balanced measure of not to be too hot or too cold. Actress Bette Davis had one motion picture filmed at Warner Brothers that year in 1949, and it was titled Beyond the Forest, co-starring Joseph Cotten, who would act again with her and Victor Charles Buono in Hush Hush, Sweet Charlotte. Victor Charles' mentor, Craig Knoll, was still at the Old Globe Theater in beautiful Balboa Park near downtown San Diego in 1949. Just 7 years into the future in 1956, Victor Charles would win the Globe Atlas Award for Best Actor of the Year when starring in Buono. Peggy Kellner was attending school at the University of Arizona on March 10, 1949. Victor Charles was now 12 years old when his family moved to their beautiful new house on Mission Bay near South Mission Beach in 1950. This would be the home I would be playing at as a young child and running on the sand and swimming in the water of the bay in front of my step-grandfather Victor Francis's home at 3266 Bayside Walk. It was 2 years before I was born when they first moved in there. Victor Francis was now 41 years old, and he must have felt like a conquering king by providing for his 38 years old wife, Myrtle Bell, and their 2 sons, Victor Charles and David Francis. My father, Sonny, married my mother, Hilda, on February 19, 1950. He was 22 years old, and she was 18 years old, and they moved into their new home in San Diego with my mother's daughter, Theresa Ann. Before they knew it, my sister Renee was born on December 10th, 1950.